I'm Hulk Hogan, the greatest wrestler of all time.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
A spaceman, huh?
No, actually, I'm a plumber.
New World Order.
Honestly, I can't go anywhere without getting a boner.
How you doing?
I live my life!
Woo!
The Rock says,
Sweet baby Jesus in the office.
Hi everyone, you're watching the Wrestle Rock podcast, season 5. I'm Johnny D, and I'm hosting this episode with my partner Benoit, aka Nostradamus Ben.
Mine and you.
Yeah, doing super great. You know what?
This is the last episode of season 5 with a special guest of music.
Yes, he is a family member of Survivor, but also is a member of the Ides of March. I'm talking about Mr. Jim Peterik. How's you going today, my friend?
I'm doing great, Jonathan and Benoit. Thanks for having me on. And
Oh, that's super.
it's
That's super great that you accept our invitation. We know that you are very busy with concert, musical project, recording, and stuff like that. And we're going forward with the first question. So go ahead, my
I'm
friend.
gonna start the interview.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Peterik, at what age did you start playing music?
oh my God, I was 4 years old, and
Wow.
yeah, I was sitting in the back seat of our family sedan, and my
Okay.
two sisters are quite a bit older than me, and they taught me how to play ukulele, and we're going down to Florida through the Smoky Mountains, and my hand just about barely wrapped around that ukulele neck, but a few years later, I realized, hey, wait a minute. There's this thing called a guitar, and it has 6 strings, not 4 strings. And my dad bought me a little crummy guitar, and I figured out what to do with those other 2 strings, and I started making simple chords, G, C, D, E, and all you need is like 4 chords, and I was off and running.
Wow. And how many years have you been colliding guitars? Because we know that you have a few guitars.
Yeah, I have a few. I've pared it down from 240 to 200 guitars.
Wow.
Yeah, I
It's great.
decided to give away to charity or sell some of the ones that were fancy, but they weren't collectible and valuable. So now it's down to 200, extremely, valuable Gibsons, like Les Pauls and of course Gretches and Fenders and it's funny. I never even started really collecting. I just knew every time I bought a guitar, even when I was 12 years old, I couldn't bear to sell it. And before you know it, I had a collection, and that's my hobby and my passion, really.
And go.
Yeah, okay, all right. Can you tell us about the formation of the Ides of March?
Oh, that's one of my favorite memories and favorite stories. And
Okay.
now 60 years since we formed, we're still together, the same original 4 guys. You just met Larry Millis, leader of the band. I'm, of course, Jim Peterik, Bob Berglund on bass, and Mike Borch on drums. That we call them the core 4. We're still together after 60 years, still best of friends, which is rare in any business, to still hang out together. Even when we're not doing a show, we'll get together. And then Scott May, who you communicated with, he's not only our PR person, but he's been with the band now for 33 years as our keyboard player. He's the new guy, you know. Yeah,
The
and
young.
the young guy. Yeah, so Scott's a gem, but we're still all best of friends. And the great thing about the Ides is we each have our own role. And I always say if the world was managed as well as the Ides of March, it'd be a very peaceful place. I'm the main songwriter, and Larry's the producer, engineer. Bob Berglund does the books and the calculations and the taxes and all the stuff And Mike Borch, he's the schedule guy. He's the guy printing up the schedule, the itinerary every month, and we all have our jobs.
Okay. Wow. And we know that you have a popularity with Sylvester Stallone and the Rocky story, of course. But what was your reaction when your hit vehicle was featured in the movie Lock Up, starring by Sylvester Stallone?
Well, that blew us away. By that time I was good friends with Stallone because of Rocky 3 and Rocky 4. But that was such a treat to hear the Ides of March in the middle of lockup. When they're restoring the Mustang, which was perfect, a perfect vehicle. And it was a great honor for the Ides to be in a Stallone movie, and I'm still really good friends with Sylvester Sly. And the first time he called me, I thought it was a joke. He left an answering machine message and, "Hey, yo, Jim, that's a nice answering machine you got there. Give me a call. It's Sylvester Stallone." And I'm going, some joker is pulling a stunt on me, And I keep sorting mails and listening to messages in my machine. And my wife Karen says, "Who is that?" "Oh, so it's some joker pretending to be Stallone, And she goes, "You idiot! Call him back. It just might be Stallone, So, I call him back. It was an 818 area code, which is a good sign. And he answers the phone. "Yo." Another good sign. And I go, "This is Jim Peterik. Is this really Sylvester Stallone?" He goes, "Hey, Jimbo, call me Sly."
Nice.
And so here I am, kid from Berwyn, Illinois. He was already my hero because of Rocky 1 and 2. And I go, "So what's going on, Sly?" And he goes, "Oh, I got this new movie called Rocky 3. And I don't want to use that Gonna Fly Now song. It's a nice song. But I want something for the kids, something with a pulse. Can you help me out?" I said, "Hell yeah." And,
It's a big challenge.
Yeah. And he said, "I'm going to send you a rough cut of the movie, and I want you to write a song that'll outlive you and me." And I go, "No problem, Sly." So 2 days later, FedEx arrives with this big Betamax Pro cassette. I had to go out and rent a Betamax Pro machine.
Okay.
And got together with Frankie, lead guitar of Survivor, and we watched that movie. And I said, "This is going to be huge," And I had my guitar around my neck, and I was just trying to catch the pulse of the punches, and Mr. T rising up and Stallone kind of getting soft, doing Visa card commercials, and I just started going just like that, And I'm trying to coordinate the punches with the chords, and I just go. Wait for the punch. And we just kept going, and I'm jogging around the neighborhood, scribbling down lyrics and singing into my cassette recorder. And we went to the studio, Chicago Recording Company, a few days later, and we cut the demo. And Stallone goes, "Oh my God, you guys really did it. You did write a song that's going to outlive you and me." And he said, "There's only one problem. We got to use the demo you guys did because the deadline." So what a lot of people don't know is when you see Rocky 3, you're listening to the demo version of Eye of the Tiger. And it's really good, you know? And, but then we had to go back. It wasn't on our label, the Scotty Brothers, so we had to re-record it. And what took about, a week to record the demo, which ended up in the movie, it took us like 2 months in the studio in LA to recreate the original version, which came so easy. Now we're trying to recreate it and make it even better. And the one you hear on the radio, of course, is the one we recorded in LA like 3 months later. But that original one is still in that movie.
Wow. In 1981,
Such a great story, my friend. Wow.
Okay, you were talking about Eye of the Tiger in movie Rocky 3. Did you have the same inspiration to write Burning Heart in Rocky 4?
We're on the road. Survivor's on the road with REO Speedwagon. We toured with them like for 3 years with breaks, because their management was the same as our management. And Frankie and I were sitting around the pool in, I don't know, it was like Baton Rouge or somewhere in the South. And we got a call, hey, yo, you got to do it again. It's Sylvester Stallone. And what are you talking about? Well, I got a movie called Rocky 4, and I want a song with you guys again. So this time we didn't, for the first song, Eye of the Tiger, we had the movie to inspire us. This time he sent us a script for Rocky 4. And that's cool, but it was a little harder working off a script than it was seeing the movie. But we rented we had the road crew bring a Wurlitzer piano into the hotel suite, and we pounded out this thing called Burning Heart, And when we got back to Chicago, we recorded it, and of course, by this time Jimmy Jamison was the lead singer. Dave had left the band. Dave Bickler was, of course, the guy that sang Eye of the Tiger, and just iconic voice and the beret and the whole bit, But now we had Jimmy Jamison, just an amazing singer that we were blessed to find. We were auditioning all these singers, and most of them were not very good. And then Kevin Chalfant came along, and he's a great singer. And we almost said yes to Kevin. And 2 days later, Jimmy Jamison came to Chicago to audition and blew the doors off of everybody. And the first song we showed him was The Search Is Over. And, how can I convince you? And I'm teaching it to him. And he gets to that point where, now I look into your eyes. And his voice cracked on eyes, And I turned to Frankie and go, oh, man, we better lower the key. And Jimmy's famous line, which I'll never forget, he was such a sweetheart. He said, oh, man, give half a man a chance. And we did another take, and I look into your eyes, and he nailed it. And that was the day we said, you're in the band. And Jimmy was such an amazing inspiration to me as a songwriter, where now I'd be writing songs with his voice in mind, things like The Search Is Over. And, every singer brings out a different emotion in me as a songwriter, and Jimmy was probably the greatest singer I've ever worked with.
Really, really. And when we have a total package in a group, that's a perfect fit, and all ideas growing up, Go ahead.
Okay. Do you remember, Mr. Peterik, what's the largest crowd you've ever had with the formerly of Survivor?
Oh, man, so many.
Couple of thousands?
Oh my God, what was the biggest one? I mean, I can't even remember. The '80s was such a blur.
Yeah.
But I think it was overseas. that we got our biggest crowd probably in Italy. This giant arena. It must have been, I don't know, 30,000 people there, just at the height of our popularity, and they're cheering and they're singing "Eye of the Tiger" along with the band. But of course, we played L.A., the Forum, and all these great venues. But most of them were like 20,000 max, in America, which ain't hay. It's pretty good.
Really?
But even the Ides of March, we did big concerts as well, and opened for Led Zeppelin at a big stadium in Winnipeg, and that was really an awesome gig. I mean, we were huge Led Zeppelin fans, and the Ides of March opened for them, and we killed it. We did so good. The PA was shitty. It was supposed to be held outdoors, but it rained, so they brought it inside with a makeshift PA. We didn't care. We just kept going, Well, Zeppelin was a little pissed off because they're used to great equipment, Nonetheless, they were great, and they premiered a song that night, a little thing called "Stairway to Heaven." and I go to Larry, this is going to be huge, and Jimmy Page had his double neck 12/6, and
Yeah.
I mean, we were blown away. Yeah, and then after the show, Robert Plant invites the Ides of March to a big party in their penthouse suite in Canada, and we showed up, and we were kids. I was 19, Larry was 20. We're all kids. We had never seen the level of partying that was going on in that hotel suite. And without going into too much detail, there was, the old cliche, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It was all going on right there in that suite, And yeah, and we didn't even drink, I mean, we were like, all we did was practice and write songs, and we're very dedicated to our craft. And so at a point where we're going, oh man, this is not our scene, and we very politely said to Robert Plant, thanks for inviting us, but we're leaving. And we left, and we went across the street to a donut shop, and we had donuts. And that's the party animals we were at the time.
In the donut shop, everyone.
Yeah, woo!
I remember in 2006, my friend, you recorded a live concert with Pride of Lions in Belgium in front of 17,000 fans. Why was the concert has been recorded in Belgium, my friend?
It was an amazing event. I mean, I have to just start out by saying, after Jimmy Jameson died, passed away at a very young age, I think he was 62 or 63. I'd already been working with Toby Hitchcock, and I knew that he was an amazing singer, but when Jimmy died, I really had to kind of recommit myself to, this is my new inspirational voice, and Toby, to this day, is one of the greatest singers I've ever worked with. And what's neat about Toby, now when I started Survivor, I was going to be kind of co-singer with Dave Bickler, and play guitar. But Frankie didn't want that. He wanted me just on keyboards and writing songs, and he wanted to be the only guitar player. Okay, got it. But he also wanted Dave Bickler singing all the songs. If you notice, on the very first Survivor album, I actually have some vocals and some guitar. But Frankie had his own vision of what this band was. One singer, Jim on keyboards, Frankie on guitar, Stefan on bass, and Mark Gervais on drums. Great. It was great as long as I could be in the songwriting capacity. That was my greatest passion. But when I finally formed Pride of Lions much later, this was kind of my chance to redesign that initial template of me co-singing with the lead singer. In this case, it was Toby Hitchcock. playing a lot more guitar. So I got to live that original dream I had with Survivor with Pride of Lions.
And that makes sense because the collaboration with member was very different than Survivor. So, and in Belgium, if you want to see a very good concert, honestly, everyone, I recommend this show. That's just amazing.
Live in Belgium, correct?
Live in Belgium.
Right,
Yes, live in
yeah,
Belgium.
yeah. That was a great
Yes.
show. And I remember there was this runway in front, and Toby wasn't shy. He went right out on that runway, and he's singing to the crowd. And I'm going, man, this guy's a showman.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an amazing show.
When I'm listening and when I'm watching this concert, my mouth was just like that. Then it's wow, that's such a great experience. So in 2020 and 2021, you played with an important music player.
Yeah, I mean, Styx lead singer Dennis DeYoung. Can you share your experience with us?
I sure can. One of my dearest friends, he lives literally 3 blocks from here.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, and he was my hero. I mean, when the Ides were cutting our teeth, Styx was cutting their teeth.
Okay.
And they had "Lady, when you're with me, I'm smiling." And I look at Larry and go, man, this guy can really sing. And that was Dennis DeYoung. And
He's one of the best.
he is one of the best and still is. And we tried writing together back in like 2015. And, not always things click, or he had ideas that I wasn't crazy about. And I had ideas that he wasn't crazy about. And we shook hands and we go, maybe next time. But next time came about, I would say maybe 10 years later. And we started, I was in Europe, and I started a song that I thought would be great for Dennis DeYoung. And I recorded it, and I sent in an MP3. This is, by this time, it was that age when you could send an MP3.
Yeah.
And Dennis goes, I really like this song. And I said, Dennis, you've been sitting on your ass too long. It's time for a Dennis DeYoung album. And finally, he did get off his ass.
You shake the
and
tree.
I shook the tree, the Dennis tree. And, like I said, he lives 3 blocks away. And literally, I would go over to his house, and we'd write there. He would drive over here. We'd record right where we're sitting. And Larry would record the demos. And we wrote so many songs. He had to carve it up into 2 sections, 26 East Part 1 and Part 2.
Yeah.
There was just too much to fit on one disc. And we just really hit a vein. And I just talked to him, and a good friend of mine's band just covered one of his songs. And he said, would you mind sharing this with Dennis? So I sent it to Dennis because I knew what a good job they did on this song. And Dennis loved it. He called me and said, Jim, this almost makes me want to do another album. And I said, well, that's big. Do you say almost or yes? He said,
big.
almost. So who knows? There might be another DeYoung album, I'm hoping. And his voice is still 100% there.
When we have a chance like that, so going forward.
I'm going to make it happen. I made it happen once. I'll make it happen again.
Awesome. So we are now on our pre-closing segment. So first of all, thank you so much for your 25 minutes of your time. It's once again, very appreciated. I give you a name in a few words. Tell me something about them, all right?
Sure.
The first one, Sylvester Stallone.
Stallone is a great guy. I mean, he was so humble. I mean, he may come off like, Stallone, but he's really a very humble guy. And it was really funny because when we wrote Eye of the Tiger, and we got that inspiration from him for that, in the movie Rocky, you're losing the eye of the tiger. And that's when I turned to Frankie. I said, if we don't call this thing Eye of the Tiger, we're really stupid. And at one point I said, Stallone, Sly, do you want writer's credit for that title? Oh, no, I'm not a songwriter. No, that's yours. That's how generous he was. He could have made millions if he said, oh, no, I want a third of that song. That's not him. He makes it on his own way. So I can't say enough about Stallone, Sly. And first time I talked to him, is this really Sylvester Stallone? Hey, Jimbo, call me Sly. Yeah. Then I knew he was a regular guy,
A really good gentleman. The second one, Elvis Presley.
A hero. I never met Elvis, but when I was 4 years old, he was the guy I was watching on Ed Sullivan with my sisters, and I'm going, I immediately, I had a ukulele, and I had my mother in masking tape put Elvis on the ukulele, and that's what a huge Elvis fan I was, especially those early days. My sisters, we had a little record player. We stacked those 45s up. And a lot of the early Presley stuff, this was even before, like Don't Be Cruel and Heartbreak Hotel, was on the Sun label. And, I don't care if the sun don't shine, I'll get my loving in the evening time. When I'm with my baby. Almost like rockabilly,
Yeah.
And I fell in love with Elvis even before his first hit.
Black people,
Yeah.
And
He was born in Mississippi.
yes, and his inspirations comes from the black music,
Totally. You can hear it. I mean, it was a hillbilly singing black music,
Yeah. The third one, the greatest, David Bowie.
Oh, my God, David Bowie. Well, Larry's worked with him. So, I mean, he's had more firsthand, contact with David Bowie. He came to Larry's studio and recorded which album, Larry? Or which?
Well, we did the Glass Spider tour audio for ABC.
Yeah, the Glass Spider tour, all the audio Larry mixed, and got to hang with him. I didn't meet him at the time. I haven't met Bowie, but that was a brush with greatness that Larry had, and I'm jealous of him.
And the last one, Jim Peterik, yourself.
Oh, him. I know him. Well, I never stop in my music journey. And it's my hobby, it's my passion, it's my love. My wife Karen tries to distract me with other interests, and we walk and we travel, and she expands my horizon. But, every vacation, I always got my guitar and I'm always writing a song. And a lot of times, different latitudes, different attitudes, you come up with a different song when you're in Italy or Germany or on an island like Costa Rica. We just came back from there. It's all different vibes, and I try to tune into those vibes and turn it into music.
Awesome. For ending, as usual, Nostradamus. Ben, it's all about the French prophet. It's all about Nostradamus,
Oh, yes.
and he will try to predict the future of our guest.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Peterik. Almost 30 minutes with us. It was very appreciated. It was huge. I predict to you, eventually, the Ides of March will be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I love your vision. And I'm sure hoping that. And add me for Songwriters Hall of Fame. I'm almost there for that too. So,
In Illinois.
It's Songwriters Hall of Fame is national, But I'm already in the Hall of Fame in Illinois, as are the Ides of March. But I'm looking for the national thing, if possible, in the Ides of March too. So
Okay.
anyway, it's really a pleasure talking to you guys because you're very knowledgeable and really fun to talk to, and I so appreciate it.
Same thing for you. Thank you so much for your time. We wish you healthy. We wish you all the best. And fuck the rest. Sorry for the word, but it is what it is. Thank you so much, and have a great day, my friend.
Goodbye.
All right.